This facility is going to need to change in order for it to survive. It's going to have to go through a process of evolution. Otherwise, there's no use for it, or it's just going to become a burden and ruin porn. One of the things that I'm scared of is if the city and the state take too long to try to figure out what to do with this site, it in turn gets boarded up. And let's imagine we're at the Packard plant all over again, where people are breaking in, taking pictures, getting hurt, falling down elevator shafts, all of the above, right? And so I'm hoping that they can figure something out in order for us to keep this as a gem, a true gem for the city of Detroit, and get it to a point where it serves the next generation of residents. So today I am working out of the GM building. I'm actually downtown. Just got finished meeting with an aspiring developer, and now I need to get some work done. So having an opportunity to come down to the GM building, or the RenCen, to grab me a cup of coffee and crack open the laptop and zap a few emails off. But I want to bring you along with me because very few places give you an opportunity to work out of a facility such as this one. Really big fan of this place. So one thing that is always surprising to me is just how empty this place is. There are usually not that many people walking through this facility, but yet this place is huge, right? I mean, when you look around and you envision, a place like this, you would assume that it has a ton of people that work out of this place and stay here via the hotel, eat via the restaurants. But surprisingly, there aren't that many food choices in this facility, which I guess is not as surprising as it should be now that I think about it, because of all of the things that have closed and shuttered, and things that have transpired when it comes to organizations moving out of this place. As you're aware, the GM itself is actually moving its headquarters to a different location, the Hudson's building on Woodward. But once again, this is a really cool place to get some work done. If you can kind of see right here, they got some tables that you can set up shop at. Some of them have plugs. Very good views of folks walking in and out and around the facility. And when you get tired and it's time for you to get your steps in, you can see the Detroit River as you're perusing this fine establishment. But I think it's always a good idea to figure out ways to get out of your comfort zone when you're working on your business and doing things like responding to emails. Being able to do so in different environments really help when it comes to the creative juices that allow for you to continue to be able to be fluent and adjust to whatever you need to adjust to. So now I'm gonna go grab me a cup of coffee from what used to be Starbucks, but they actually switched it to, is it Illy's? This brand was in the airport last I went, and it looks like they're trying to expand. I don't know if they're even open, so we're gonna see. So crazy enough, I just left Illy's. It is 1:07 on a Friday, and they were closed. How can a coffee shop on a Friday in the GM building that should house still thousands of employees be closed at 1:07? Boggles my brain a little bit. But next thing I'm gonna do is go down to Panera Bread to see if I can get some coffee, because I gotta get some caffeine in my system. Another reason why I like coming to the GM building is you're able to see some pretty cool cars and learn a little history about what GM had to do in order to get to this point. This is actually one of my favorite cars in the exhibit. This is a Cadillac Le Mans.
Like other dream cars featured that year, it was made with an innovative material, fiberglass.
And boy, oh boy,
The lightweight composite made the Le Mans almost 400 pounds lighter than a typical steel body.
doesn't that look good? That could be Mayor Mobile 3.0. Such a wonderful view. It looks like Panera Bread is still open.
And y'all come touch it, because y'all been doing the same bullshit. Now bring me the rope.
So I was able to get my coffee, but I was able to also hear some commotion as well. So I was able to find me a pretty good seat. I'm able to see the Detroit River from here. I can see Canada, Caesars Casino. Behind me I have the GM exhibit, and I'm also able to witness people get their steps in. There's a bit of a track here where people are walking and, you know, stretching their legs. So I'm people watching as well. But this is one of my favorite places to work out of when I have an opportunity to do so, just because of the activity and the energy you get from being in a building such as the RenCen. This is a place that just, I mean, it's second to none. I know there's a spot in Atlanta that is similar to this facility, and I've never been in there, but for some reason, I even though I haven't been in there, I can guarantee you that it doesn't feel like what the RenCen feels like. It's just unexplainable. Concrete everywhere, glass and sun, and very bright. People are always amazing, but one of the things that I will point out is most of the people that are in here don't actually work in this facility. Most people are in flip-flops, shorts. I see a lot of folks coming off of the Riverwalk. They're in here using the restroom, checking out the exhibit, grabbing a bite to eat from, you know, the few restaurant options that they have access to. But overall, this facility is going to need to change in order for it to survive. It's going to have to go through a process of evolution. Otherwise, there's no use for it, or it's just going to become a burden and ruin porn. One of the things that I'm scared of is if the city and the state take too long to try to figure out what to do with this site, it in turn gets boarded up, and let's imagine we're at the Packard plant all over again, where people are breaking in, taking pictures, getting hurt, falling down elevator shafts, all of the above, right? And so I'm hoping that they can figure something out in order for us to keep this as a gem, a true gem for the city of Detroit, and get it to a point where it serves the next generation of residents. But one thing's for certain, if they're able to do half of what they are planning to do with this site, based off of what Dan Gilbert and his team came up with, that's a win. That is a win. And I can only imagine being able to kind of live in a facility similar to this, or such as this, once updated to potential housing, where you have such a view of the city, of the river, of a whole nother country within a stone's throw from you. And that's one of the things that I just don't think Detroiters value enough. We literally have a whole nother country that you can get to from anywhere in Detroit within, I'd say, 15, 20 minutes tops. And I think that we as Detroiters don't take as much advantage of our northern neighbors as we should. I'm a big fan of Canada, and I would love to see our city residents, our urban residents, get more access to that side of the world, right? And vice versa. Even though I know as of now, with the tariff talks and all of the political challenges, right now the relationship isn't as good as it was a year ago, I still see tremendous value at being able to connect with our northern neighbors over in Canada to figure out a way to continue those conversations and relationships, specifically for Detroiters, in order for us to kind of see the bigger picture. It's not, a lot of people in the city of Detroit, you'd be surprised, don't get out past 8 Mile. They don't get out to the suburbs that often, if ever, and they are basically encompassed in the city in a way where the city is all they know, and or their neighborhood is all they know. Whereas, imagine if there is an opportunity to expand their horizon with an introduction to a whole nother country, which could also be shocking as well. But I really do like that idea. I really do like the idea of being able to hopefully introduce more Detroiters to something that we literally can take a bus to, which is Canada, at least up until now. I think they might have changed that ability and access, where I know some funding has been cut, and there could be a scenario where the bus route from Detroit to Canada and back is deleted, and I hope that's not the case. I did a video on my journey over to Canada and back via bus, and I really enjoyed that. But I ramble a bit, and back to the GM building, or the RenCen. I'm hoping that they can figure it out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. When's the last time you've been to the RenCen? If you haven't been in a while, I challenge you to come check it out. Grab a cup of coffee from one of the restaurants that are opened. Come check it out, and once again, give me your thoughts below as to what you think the RenCen should be when it does go through the process of evolution into its next stage of life. So I'll talk to you in the next video.